Okay, welcome everybody to 10 more mistakes, but today with countability. But like always, it's hard to only choose mistakes connected to countability. Usually they cross over into other topics and themes as well. And number one is clearly a subject-verb agreement mistake. Perhaps I will try to find 10 mistakes just on subject-verb agreement, yeah? Because it is a problem sometimes. And to be frank, I think a lot of natives are uncertain how to make sure that subject and verb agree in all cases. There are always some cases with neither and either, especially, which seem to be, they seem to be unintuitive. They don't seem to be what you would expect. Now, everybody and nobody are singular. Always, yeah? Everybody, everyone as well. And notice everyone has the number one in it. Nobody, no one, well, one. That's one way to remember that they're not plural, they're singular. But you do hear people use them plurally quite often. So nobody was, no one was, everybody was, everyone was. Just remember that no one and everyone are always singular, and you'll get those correct. I mean, if you say something different, like all people, and by the way, I don't like all people instead of everybody. I think it sounds really unnatural. If you say all the people in this room or something like that, that sounds okay to me. So you need a the in there. All the people in, you need to tell me which people. If you just say all people, we normally say everybody then, but all the people in my class, all the students in my class is fine. It just sounds strange to me to have all and then a really general noun like people. You'd normally hear the and then you tell me all who exactly. Anyway, everybody was. But yeah, all the people were. All the people in this room were. All the students in my class were. Okay, so all is plural, but all in a plural noun anyway. Okay, number two, we had trainings in the same sports centre. Unlucky, training is uncountable. So we have to say we had training in the same sports centre. Yeah, and not trainings, not a training. You could say a training session, I suppose, although it sounds a little bit strange to me. I think we just say a session at the sports centre. I had a session at the gym. You could even say I had a session at the language school, although I'd probably say lesson. But yeah, session, I think, is what we use for when you have a slot at the sports centre, a certain period of time at the sports centre. But you can certainly say I had training at the sports centre, I worked out at the sports centre, I went to the gym, that kind of thing. And I think a session is countable. So you could say a training session, but training is fine on its own. Okay, number three, he has very small time these days, or he has very few time these days. Both are incorrect, yeah? And it's because time is uncountable when it means, 3:30, yeah? If it means one time, two times, three times, that's a very different type of time. And we do say, how many times have you been to Greece? But we say, how much time, we usually say how long, how long, but we say, I don't have much time, meaning, much time left, maybe in the exam or whatever it is. So he has very little time left in the exam, very little. Little is for uncountable nouns. I have very little money, I have very little time, I have very little work. All three of those nouns are uncountable. So, they have very little information, little plus uncountable noun. Okay, number four, I have two news. No, news is uncountable, which means you need to say two pieces of news. Yeah, you can say a piece of furniture, a piece of news, a piece of information even. And so this is a way that you can make an uncountable noun countable. You talk about two pieces of news. Yeah, or I have some news. If you're not going to use pieces, it's got to be just some news. I have some news, because some is for uncountable nouns.